Well, this is the Saturday morning town hall of the Rainbow Push Coalition. Put your hands together for the work and legacy and leadership of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. It is a great day to be alive all over America and the world, and we're so excited to bring this program and this engagement to you. Go to our website right now, www.rainbowpush.org, and help us keep hope alive. Want you to now to hear the most amazing ensemble, the Sounds of Freedom. Put your hands together and receive them.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rainbow Push. Let me hear you make some noise here in the workshop. We are so glad to be alive today, and we come to send you this message wherever you are. We need you to know that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. That's how we're going to turn our communities around. That's how we're going to turn our world around, by leaning on, depending on God to do everything He said He would do. Can I get you to clap your hands like this? Come on. Song says, exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think, said according to the power that worketh in you, God is able to do just what He said He would do. Anybody believe it? Come on. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God, 'cause He won't give up on you. You say, He's able. Hey, come on, clap that. Say, I know He's able.
I know He's able.
Say, He's able. Hey, yes He is. Can I get everybody? Let's sing together. God is able to do. Say, God is
able to do
just what He said
He would do.
Said He's gonna fulfill.
He's gonna
Anybody believe it this morning?
Every promise.
Hey, don't give up on God.
Don't give up on God.
'Cause He won't
give up.
Hey,
He's able.
Hey, come on, everybody say, I know He's able.
I know He's able.
Say, He's able. Hey. Say, I know He's able.
I know He's
Come
able.
on, let's take it up. God is able.
God is able to do
just what He said.
Just what He said He would do.
He's gonna fulfill.
He's gonna fulfill every promise to you.
Come on, everybody say, don't give up.
Don't give up on God.
'Cause He won't
give up.
Say, He's able.
He's able.
Come on, everybody, clap your hands. Say, I know He's able.
I know He's able.
Say, He's able. Hey. I know He's able.
I know He's able.
Everybody, clap your hands. Come on. Come on, everybody, clap your hands. Yeah. Let's go to the O's. Y'all ready? Say it like this. Whoa, whoa, He's able. Everybody say, whoa, whoa, He's able. Let's sing it again. Say, whoa, whoa, He's able. Everybody say, everybody say, He's able.
He's able.
He's able.
He's able.
He's able.
He's able.
Yes, He is able.
He's able.
Just ask the woman
He's
with the
able.
issue of blood.
He's able.
She'll tell you
He's
my
able.
God is able.
He's able.
Just ask the Hebrew boys
He's
in
able.
the fiery furnace.
He's able.
They'll tell you
He's
my
able.
God is able.
He's
Just
able.
ask their friend.
He's
Say where the
able.
lion's in.
He's able.
Tell you.
He's able.
He's able.
He's able.
Whoa, he's able. Everybody say,
Oh, he's able.
one more time, say, whoa, he's able. Everybody say,
He's able.
Come on, everybody, let's say it. Whoa, he's able. Everybody say, one more time.
He's able.
Song says, don't stop believing.
Yeah.
Hold on to that feeling. Don't stop believing. Can I get you just to say that, everybody? I need you to say it. Don't stop believing. Come on. Hold on to that feeling. Don't stop believing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's able. Everybody sing together.
He's able.
Well, clap your hands if you believe it.
Well, if you believe he's able, put your hands together if you believe he's able. Clap your hands if you believe that he is able. We're so glad to have our iconic leader and founder and president, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Come on, come on, come on. We've had such a busy week, and we thank God for you. Those of you who are watching us virtual, you can go to www.rainbowpush.org right now and get more information about what we're doing as an organization. All over the world, we are doing something as we are keeping hope alive. And I want to thank our national staff and our volunteers. Just a little more in this mic. Our national staff and our volunteers, would you help me appreciate them? Clap your hands for them, our national staff. They work all over the country. They work all over the country in one way or another, and here in Chicago, doing an amazing job. And I thank them. I thank them so very much for what they do each and every day. This is Black Music Month, and there's nothing like black music. Let's make some noise for black music. And we are honoring the life and legacy of in the Brookins family. They had one of their patriots to pass, and we are praying for them and praying with them as we're remembering their public service and their sacrifice to our community. In Louisville, this week, history was made. Garena Weathers became the first black woman to serve as the Jefferson County's Commonwealth Attorney and top prosecutor as a result of Reverend Jackson's work in Louisville, Kentucky, a result of us fighting to raise the profile and get justice for Breonna Taylor. And likewise, in Alabama, an amazing thing happened in Alabama as it relates to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court on Thursday issued a 5-4 ruling in favor of black voters in the state of Alabama. Somebody say, black voters matter. Say it again, black voters matter. That ruling was significant as it affirmed the lower court that raised the fact that you cannot have disproportional representation of African Americans in the state, and they now have to draw a new map to include black voters in the state of Alabama. And so we're very enthusiastic about that work and what that work means for us as a people. This is National Gun Violence Awareness Month. And this month, as we approach our 56th International Convention, we're launching a national agenda. Last week, Reverend Jackson put together a police and community covenant to build better relationships. In his words, we want police patrol and not police control. And we don't want militarized communities. We want communities that are revived economically, socially, and otherwise. And as a part of our convention, July 15th through the 19th, we'll be focusing on gun violence that has caught and held captive our community in cycles of victimization, trauma, and retaliatory generational violence. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for black children. I'm going to say it again. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for black children. Black Americans die nearly 3 times the rate of white Americans with violence each and every day. In every form of gun violence, the numbers as it relates to the impact that it has on the black community are alarming. And so those on the right and those in the middle that want to do nothing or want to weaponize misinformation as it relates to the Second Amendment need to know 83% of all gun deaths are among black Americans in gun homicides. And as we work across all of these communities to raise and save black boys and black children and challenge them not to be average but be the exception, black boys and black men account for just 6% of the national population, but they account for over half of all gun homicide victims. And not just black boys and black men, black women. The violence against black women has risen 78% in the past 20 years as it relates to gun violence. And gun violence continues to heighten the inequities and the disparities in communities of color. One study found in this that it is a correlation between the violence, the gun violence, and police violence. One study noted 242 occurrences between 2013 and 2021 in which police killed people while not on duty at 40% rate. While they're not on duty, I don't know why you got to pull your gun when you're not on duty, but 40% of those homicides are black men and black women. So the challenge today that Reverend Jackson has put out in our national agenda, and this is going to be a phenomenal convention, July 15th through the 19th. Make some noise, Chicago. It's going to be a phenomenal convention because we have a duty and a responsibility to save and raise our communities. We want to lay out a national agenda that will cause both federal, state, and local officials to invest in strategies, violence interrupters, and social services programs that will focus on trauma and mental health, reinvesting and rebuilding economic zones within our communities to broaden the opportunity and scale up for quality life institutions to exist and bring about change and transformation. You know, all over the country, Reverend Jackson has traveled, and his fingerprint is all over the globe. And everywhere he has gone, he has brought about this striking parallel in terms of the haves and the have-nots. He's made it his business and his mission, even today, to say that we must save our children and we must save our communities. I don't know about you, I'm with him 100%. How about you? I'm with him 100%. I say, how about you? I'm with him 100%. We must save and raise our communities because we can and because we've done it, and we can do it again, and this time we can do it even better. As the sounds of freedom get ready to come, I want you to go to that website at the bottom. There's several opportunities for you to give today. And I want you to join this mission in all that we do, whether it is human rights, whether it is criminal justice reform, whether it is social justice. Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Push Coalition, it is our duty to serve you. That's the key to the course and the character of this organization, is that we serve you. And you can text the word PUSH to the number 41444, and through your mobile device, you can contribute right now. $35 is what it means for you to contribute and invest in the fastest growing civil rights army on the planet, walking beside Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. Let's put our hands together and receive the sounds of freedom.
Yes, Lord.
Hallelujah.
All of your problems, all of your pain, even your troubles, you can give it to Jesus. All of your problems, all of your cares, even your struggles, you can give it to Jesus. 'Cause he won't fail, he won't fail, he won't leave you. He won't fail, he won't fail, he won't leave you. No, he won't fail. All of your problems, all of your pain, even your struggles, you can give it to Jesus. All of your problems, all of your cares, even your troubles, you can give it to Jesus. Say he won't fail. He won't fail. He won't fail. He won't leave you. He won't leave you. Come on, I need you to help us. He won't fail. Say he won't fail. He won't fail. He won't fail. He won't leave you. He won't leave you. He won't fail. Let's say that again. Say he won't fail. He won't fail. He won't leave you. He won't fail. He won't fail. He won't fail. He won't leave you. He won't fail. Come on, I need you to help us say it. Say, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it in my own life. He keeps every promise.
He keeps every promise.
Come on.
Never before
Said I seen it.
Seen it in my own eyes.
Said I seen it,
Seen it in
yeah.
my own life.
Say he keeps every
He
promise.
keeps every promise. Never
I seen it in my own.
I've seen it in my own
I seen it in my own
I've
life.
seen it with my own
He
life.
keeps every promise.
He keeps every
He'll
promise.
never be forsaken.
Never be
Said I
forsaken.
seen it.
Seen it in my own
I
eyes.
seen it in my own
Seen
life.
it in my own life.
Say he keeps every
He
promise.
keeps every promise.
Come on, everybody.
Never
I
be
seen it with my own.
forsaken. Seen it with my own eyes.
Come on, say.
I've seen it in my own life.
Come on, he keeps every
He
promise.
keeps every promise.
I'll never be forsaken. Said I seen it with my own eyes. I seen it in my own life. Say he keeps every
He keeps every
promise.
promise. Can never be forsaken.
Say he won't fail. He won't fail. He won't leave you. No, he won't fail. Can y'all help us sing it? Say, he won't fail. He won't fail. He won't leave you. No, he won't. One more time, everybody say it across the room. Say, he won't fail. He won't fail. He won't leave you. No, he won't fail.
Come on, give it up for the sounds of freedom. And you can dial right now, 773-373-3366, and that's freedom on your dial, and someone will be waiting to receive your call. Give yourselves a round of applause in this room. This is a great day to be alive. I want to reach out to our New York office this week with wildfire and smoke coming across the Canadian line. Our office, we have offices there in New York, and we are praying for all of our staff there, and we're just thanking God for them. Help me thank God for them. Help me thank God for them. Clap your hands and thank God for our New York Wall Street office. As I said to you, this is National Gun Violence Awareness Month, and Reverend Jackson has been on the forefront of fighting for the assault weapons ban and fighting for tighter regulations and laws as it relates to access to weapons. He'll be talking to us today about some public action that we are going to take. But every opportunity I get personally to recognize, respect, and revere him, I use it. Let's put our hands together now and receive our founder and president, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson.
Thank you very much, Bishop. We are in the battle of our lives. We've never known the struggle of this sort become so violent. Not sporadic, organized violence. Shoot down people who shoot down leaders too. Trump goes to jail, he's going to jail. It's a dangerous time to live in America. He's going to jail if he don't stay long, he's going to jail. Because if he doesn't go to jail, they have to close jails down and turn them into museums. I grew up in South Carolina. We turn over a mailbox, look our own letter, you go to jail, federal crime. You don't stay away from mailboxes, right? These men try to take over the government, stop the count, threaten the Congress, and so Trump is going to jail, y'all, you hear me? He's going to jail. He's earned the right to go to jail, and that right will be honored. There are those who don't believe it, but I'm rather convinced he's going to jail. He deserves to go to jail. I want to express my thanks today to the women who are here with us today who dedicated their lives to fighting gun violence. It's nothing like dedication for a cause. It gives you purpose in life. I want them to introduce themselves now. By the way, Mrs. Brookins passed. She used to work for Rainbow Push as the secretary of our organization. So give Mrs. Brookins a big hand. Give a big shout out. So I want to express my thanks today to these two sisters who are with us. A bit about gun violence, okay? Start talking.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, greetings, old friends. It's been a while since I've been here. My name is Delphine Sherry. I am the founder of the TY Foundation. The T and the Y stands for Tyler and Thaisa. I found that I started that foundation after my son was murdered, and his case is still unsolved. My daughter in 1992 was murdered in front of the theater Juice when she came out to see the movie Juice on the Gold Coast. Her and her friends went out to the movies, just regular kids going out to see a movie. She was only 16. She was getting ready to graduate from high school. She wanted to be a NUC nurse. She was looking forward to graduating and going to college. But that night, January 17th, my child didn't make it home. The person that killed my child was only 14, that was given a gun by an adult. He only served 20 years. And at the time of his death, I was pregnant with my son, Tyler. My son, Tyler, was energetic, musically inclined, just a good kid, both of them were. My son went to work December 23rd, 3 days before Christmas, preparing for Christmas, working long hours, and he came home to get dressed to go to a classmate's birthday party. He didn't make it out my driveway. He was shot, and he made it across the street to a neighbor's house. What disgusts me is this, because his murder is still unsolved, and the fact that an ambulance never came for him. So his friend took him to the hospital, and he sat in the waiting room for nearly 20 minutes before he got waited on. And they airlifted him to Christ, and my son passed 3 hours later. I got angry. I got angry because of the system. I lost one child, and then I had to turn around and lose another one. And I want to say grief is real. Grief is not about when you get over it. You have to get through it. And it lasts a lifetime. It doesn't, them 7 stages of grief does not exist, because I'm still in probably grief 5 now. And I got involved in this. I was just telling Reverend Jesse Jackson, I met him at Chuck's gun store. We was doing a rally, and we had barricaded the doors because we was trying to get in to buy some weapons. And from that day forward, I started the Brady, Illinois in Chicago. I needed somebody to fight on the gun policy part. And then I joined Illinois Council Against One Aim, which is now Illinois Against One Aim, and also a member of Moms to Men Action. But I'm here to tell you today, being in this fight, I tried to get every gun off the streets, and it's hard. So every gun bill that's been passed, I have been gratefully enough to be involved in it. The last bill was 218. The first bill was a certification bill, which sat in Springfield for almost 11 years. And I'm like, let me try it. Let me work on this. Let me see if I can get this passed. The governor passed it January 17th, the day that my daughter was murdered. So it's like my kids didn't die in vain, but we have too many kids out here dying. And I'm gonna continue this fight to get the guns off the street, to do what I can as a parent. I have 2 daughters left, and I'm trying not to lose them. So I want to say thank you for having me here. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Sister Delphine Cherry. Yolanda, talk more about there's been legislation that has come, and there's legislation that is needed. Your organization has been very forthright in pushing that forward. Talk to us about that, because Delphine is turning her pain into power, and such resilience and yet resistance at the same time helps us bring about transformation and change.
Yes. Well, first I'd like to share a little bit about One Aim Illinois. As Delphine Cherry shared, One Aim Illinois is formerly the Illinois Council Against Handgun Violence. And we're a nonprofit organization that works to educate, advocate, and organize in gun violence in Illinois. And so what that looks like, as Delphine was sharing with you, is we work with communities. We have one of the largest coalitions in Illinois that works on ending gun violence, is putting pressure on lawmakers, right, to create change. So that means filling out witness slips, calling your lawmakers, emailing them, putting pressure on them, so that when legislation comes up and there's a bill pending, there's a new policy, we put enough pressure on them to enact change. We know that passing policy and bills is only one part of the equation to tackle this problem. Most recently, we passed the ghost guns bill. I don't know if a ban on ghost guns. So these are weapons that young people, anyone, could go online, put pieces together, order them, and they're untraceable, right? Yeah, we have no need for ghost guns. So we enacted a ban on ghost guns in 2022. Most recently, we passed the Protect Illinois Communities Act, which is an assault weapons ban and ban on high-capacity magazines. And that took like years in the making to make that happen. We also recently passed, as Delphine was sharing, HB 1210. We're working on that. This is pending in legislature. It's very important. It was up during the spring legislative session. It didn't pass, but what this will do is immediate family members can apply for a formal review of a case file involving a first or second degree murder committed more than 3 years prior to the date of the application. It mandates fresh eyes to investigate the process, because what we are hearing from survivors across Illinois, moms and fathers and brothers and sisters who I've spoken with, who we know who are part of our Survivors Council, whose loved ones have been taken from them, haven't heard. Sometimes from their, from the detective in years about the case, right? So these are cold cases that definitely need attention. Also, I just talked to, Delphine might have mentioned it, but we passed the Firearm Industry Responsibility Act. That's HB 218. And Illinois victims can now seek justice through the Consumer Fraud and Deceptive Businesses Practices Act to hold accountable members of the firearm industry that engage in unsafe and unlawful marketing and sales practices. Often they market guns to our young people, like the Junior AR-15. I don't know if you've seen it. It's got cute little pictures on it. Yeah. And also to communities of color. They've started doing that. And also paramilitary activity. So if you think about it, it took years, but now across the country we can sue pharmaceutical companies, right, for the unfair practices that they were engaging in. Why shouldn't we be able to sue what we call bad actors in the gun industry, manufacturers? We should be able to sue them. We should be able to seek justice, and we should make sure that they are not marketing to our young people. Yeah, we also have worked on trying to pass the House Omnibus Package, HB 676, removing firearms from the domestic violence offenders, HB 1404. These are technical terms. Too long to kind of talk about it here, but that's pending legislation that's coming up. We did have a very successful legislative session. I want to talk a little bit more about what we were able to do. The bill is called, of course, the Firearms Responsibility Act. We talked a little bit about that. This opens up a whole new opportunity for victims and survivors to get the justice they seek after their loved ones have been taken from them. We also we supported the First-Time Weapons Offense Program, which is a diversion program for offenders charged with first-time nonviolent weapons possession. These are people who are mostly young black men who did not shoot the gun, and we believe they should be getting services, not time in jail. So while we've had successes, gun violence is a public health epidemic, and we still have a lot of work to do. As Bishop Grant shared, we know that guns are now the leading cause of death for American children and teens, surpassing car accidents and cancer. In Illinois, at least 1,363 people die from gun-related incidents each year. That's an average of 1 death every 6 hours. Firearms are estimated to be responsible for 80% of all homicides in this state. And black communities, as we know, bear the brunt of gun violence in Illinois, accounting for nearly half of all firearm deaths. And we in the black community are 30 times more likely to die by gun violence, by gun homicide, than our white counterparts. And unlike other Chicagoans, this summer means something different for us. We know this. Just last Memorial Day weekend in Chicago, it was violent and deadly, with 53 shot, 11 fatally, and I know you all heard it on the news. 2 2-year-olds were shot and injured in accidental shootings. Our communities are being traumatized time and time again by gun violence, and that pain, as Delphine shared with you, that trauma never goes away. Having worked with young people all over the west side, the south side of Chicago, having taught teenagers incarcerated all over Los Angeles and youth prisons, having heard their stories, having heard their trauma, having either lost students due to a gun, they're buried beneath the ground or having them incarcerated due to a gun. This issue is very dear to my heart. Having personally faced 20 guns pointed at me due to a false identification and the PTSD that comes from that, stems from that. It's an issue that is very important to me, and it's something that I continue to fight for. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you know this statistic, but the gun lobby is powerful and organized. That's what we're up against. The gun industry made $9 billion in Illinois last year alone, and they're making that off of us. I recently spoke to a group of young people, school in Palatine, an alternative school, and these kids were traumatized because two of their friends were playing with a gun and one student got shot and killed. And when I was spoken with them, I brought a survivor with me about the gun culture, and what they shared with me was, you know, hey, this is, you live or you die, right? We've got to pick up a gun. If we don't pick up a gun, then we're going to end up dead. The music we listen to, yes, we know there's a lot of gun culture in that, but that's the music that we listen to. And what we shared with them was, you know, before you pull that trigger, I want you to think, pause, and think about my daughter who was taken from me. Think about Taisha and Tyler, her children who were taken from her due to gun violence. You know, it's also Music Month, Black Music Month, I understand. My mother, Elma Basil Androzo, wrote this song, If I Could Help Somebody. That, you know, was one of Martin Luther King's favorite songs, and that's what we need to end this problem. We all need to come together. It's going to take all of us together to become advocates. Yeah, and so please visit oneaimil.org, oneaimil.org to join the movement, join the coalition, support victims and survivors of gun violence like Miss Delphine Cherry. Thank you.
Give it up for our guests, everybody. You can go to www.rainbowpush.org and get more information on Reverend Jackson. Congressman Jonathan Jackson talked about the Preston family several weeks ago, and we come to find out that the perpetrators in that were involved with straw purchasers. And as Delphine talks about meeting and joining us at Chuck's gun shop, your work against gun violence and your work to highlight and support stronger legislation, including a ban on assault weapons, is in line with what Yolanda has laid out. Talk to us significantly about what this means at this point as we're going into our convention. Reverend Jackson.
Let me say, I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. Respect me, protect me, never neglect me, save the children, stop the violence, stop the violence, save the children. I am somebody. Through it all, I will not surrender. I'll keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep. Let me say that I want to express my thanks to Delphine and Yolanda today for sharing with us the experience. I want all of you to get involved in this movement. I hear people say, I'm not involved in the civil rights movement. Every right we got came civil rights struggle. Every right we got. From 19 to 77, 157 years, we had no rights. We were not even people on the books, in persons. And when the country was founded in 1776, we were in slavery 157 years at that time. The rights came from a struggle. When Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation, Fred Douglass, they were hounding him. In slavery was a civil rights struggle. Then overcoming the impact of Jim Crow. Members came here from Mississippi, Alabama, and South Carolina on the backs of each other trains. It was overcrowded at that time. It became slums. There were more people than there were houses. The projects got overrun. More people than houses, more than services for children. So every right we have, came civil rights struggle. right to work at the post office and to teach school and all that. I struggled. Don't get caught without a membership card of some sort. When I was in South Africa, one thing that hit me was you were either PAC or you were ANC. Everybody was a member of the Civil Rights Movement. We must all join the movement, not just benefit from it. If you benefit from it and don't be a part of it, then you are a funny name, parasite. You're gonna pick up apples from trees you shake. We all have an obligation to shake the tree. I want to say this today about the convention, 15th to the 19th of July. When we convened the 84, 88 delegates to the bold action to break up the white men had on the presidency. Miss Ferraro, she came out of the 84 campaign, was a part of it, but she's a beneficiary of it. On the case that women should have the right to run and be on the tickets. The reaction to us, Monday, put on the ticket. That's how she got her civil rights. The reason why Kamala Harris on the ticket today is about our civil rights struggle. All the we have today comes from the civil rights struggle. You join Rainbow Push, 84 and 88 delegates are coming, 250 of them are coming from across the country. Be with us on Friday night and Saturday convention. Sunday is a big focus on the church. Our foundation has been the church community. I want to thank you, church leaders, for your participation in making it happen. You organized 1,000 churches behind it, 1,000 churches. You give at least $5,000 and get some of your memberships. We have a consumer movement that runs parallel with the political movement. You have a political movement without a consumer movement, corporate America will run you over. When I was a child, we expected big things out of Africa. Africa gets free, we'll get free. But Africa got free politically. Neo-colonialism made them alive. They make gold and can't buy a gold watch. Come to Gold Coast, West Africa, and the diamonds the Queen has come from the Congo. So it's not enough to have political power. You must also have, I'm tired of hearing people say, food desert. Well, stores closed, we take the store over, buy it ourselves. Well, we say we have the ability to run stores. They want to leave, let them leave. They beg nobody to stay here and feed us, or charge us. We have the right to run stores. We have the ability to run stores. We had a meeting here yesterday with about 150 construction companies and tradesmen. We have another meeting here on Monday morning at 11 o'clock. So if you're in construction, you are an engineer, or you are a construction worker, or a construction truck driver, or builder, brick mason, meet us here on Monday at 11 o'clock. We're going to begin to work again on building. I remember we had a boycott one time of Dean Milk Company, and we were able to get them to the table in a few days. We felt very good about it. We got 100 and some jobs and milk truck drivers' jobs, and we were excited about it. Mr. Bush from Bush Smith Construction Company, we've been getting jobs, and we needed the right to build. We met with National Tea, and we agreed blacks should build a store. Basically a box store, it's not even complicated to build. We built the first chain store, 47 KMA. We built the first constraint. So we can build chain stores. We can build chain stores. We can eat from them, right? So our economic philosophy must be honed up again. We're going to begin to build that big for economic development. We had this big movement for a long time of economic terrorism, kind of suppression of economics. People coming from the outside and they jam us. We're in that process, Mohammed. We're in that process, we're in it now. I want to raise a question here with us today about our convention on Monday, will be education. It's not enough to get to good schools. Our will to be educated is important. You have the best schools if you don't have the best study habits. It mean no good. Some people say if we have equal education, there'd be equal commitment to studying. No study on Thursday night, no prayer on Friday morning. Thursday night's exam is solved on Thursday night, right? Talk to me, somebody. See, it's not enough to have the right, this is good school, study to keep up, and we can do that too. So we have the civil rights. We don't have the civil rights to kill each other. We don't have the civil rights civil rights to make where we live a dangerous place to live. Civil rights to make seniors unable to sit on their porches, walk down to the park. We have the civil right to violate each other and take guns to school. Let's end the madness. Tell you over and over again, police cannot stop crime. Criminals must stop crime. Criminals must stop crime. Criminals must stop crime. And the fact of the matter is this, that when I look at, I met 300 young people in jail about a month ago. Maybe you've been here once, everybody hand went up. Been twice, they stood up again. 3 times, but 3/4. I said, man, you've been in jail 3 times. You're using this jail as a homeless shelter. The fact of the matter is, if you've been in jail 3 times, $80,000 a year to stay in jail. $80,000 a year per inmate. Money can be used in development where we live. $80,000 a year to stay in jail. We must break that madness up. I want to run this past you also. Tonight is education dinner that night, right? And on the school thing, we marched for integrated schools when Dr. King was live, Chicago. Let me tell you, integration has its place. Multicultural education is the best education you can have. We're better together. But if you're going to compete on the football field, basketball court, be academically as well. Talk to me, somebody. Part of it, we do that. So we can learn. We must learn. Because the fact that we want a good doctor ourselves, don't we? Good lawyer ourselves, right? Therefore, we must be qualified. Not just pass the bar, but also to stop and fight back. On Tuesday, we'll be big focus on labor, business, business development. We're going to reconstruct black construction companies. There's nothing we need to do. Blacks are not doing it. Sister here yesterday on landscaping, cutting grass and cutting trees and stuff. There's nothing we can't do. We can lay bricks, iron workers, architects, engineers, marketing. There's nothing we cannot do. To regain that sense of economic confidence. Wednesday is a big focus on women's luncheon. Most of it will be at the center in Chicago, but on Wednesday, we're going down to the, what's it called? No, Wednesday, the women's luncheon. Women's luncheon will be at where?
The Union. Operators Union Hall.
Where's that?
2206 South Grove Street.
All right. Talk about it in more detail. So I guess Supreme Court Justice Brown at that luncheon if we can. We're in her visit her next week and trying to get Bill Clinton to come. So we Bill a few days ago. We were reaching out to all the former presidents. Jimmy Carter said we'll pray for Jimmy Carter. He's in a nursing home right now. We're trying to get all of them to come. And so the question becomes to me central, what is the benefits of the will of God? We render God for his benefits. We meet on Saturday as opposed to Sunday because we believe in action. And we don't compete with churches. Bush is a service end of churches. So we act. We're ignoring gun violence and not talking about it. Friday, 11 o'clock, we're going to march on a gun shop in Chicago. We'll march on Friday, 12 to 2. Then we're going to begin to go to where they manufacture bullets. March on them too. You want to march with me Friday? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. We're going to march from 11 to 2 on Friday. Raise your hand now. 11 to 2 on Friday. We meet at 11 o'clock. We'll go to the gun shop and we're going to, that person went to jail. Father Plague and I went to jail. Chuck's gun shop. We're going to fight the gun shop. what they're doing, that they're targeting our community for guns. Someone comes and say, look, man, say, you have to get a gun, so your neighbor has one, if you don't get a gun, they shoot you. Simple sale. We're not buying the gun like suckers. We don't need the guns except to kill each other. We're not getting guns to shoot rabbits, deer, or elk. We only get guns to shoot each other. That does not make sense. So we're going to fight the gun battle by going to jail if necessary at gun shops. Let me say this to you, my brothers and my sisters. First ask over and over again, say, well, what can we do to stop gun violence? Change our minds. Yes, sir. Attitudes about gunshots. Change our minds, change our attitudes about guns. We have the power to do so. Yes, we do. We have the power to study at night, power to not shoot each other. I'm tired of every weekend to have a vacation, extra Friday off or something, body count on Monday morning. 40 shot and 10 killed. 42 shot and 13 killed. That does not make sense. White people do not make us shoot each other. If you're upset, white people fight them. We cannot use our power to do in that way. Two things we owe God, it seems to me, that's faithfulness and trust in God. I listen to people talk about this issue of faithfulness to God. Should we surrender to God for all His benefits? Well, that's a funny question because we can't surrender to God much. Can't give God a new car, can't give him money, can't give him a ring, can't give him a watch. What do you give God? You give him faithfulness. Faithfulness to God makes heaven happy. Faithfulness to God makes heaven happy. And that's why Job said, though you slay me, yet will I trust you. He gone from rags to riches to rags. And Job is used sometimes as, Job was not patient. Job suffered. Every time he took a hit, why me, God? Give what I've done for you and with you. The issue is not about patience, it's about suffering. He never stopped being suffering for God. At the end of the day, he lost his family, lost his estate, lost his property, wealth, and lost his status in the community. And he said, though you slay me, yet will I trust you. He never stopped trusting you. When you trust God, God has a way of redeeming. Huh? God's declared that we're the death in this relationship. So healing comes from changing our direction from wicked ways. My people call by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face. To the wicked ways, turn the wicked ways. Now, weakness, God will bless us in our weakness, not in our wickedness. God will make you strong. And sometimes we kill each other, that's just wicked. Reverend Sharp one day preaching funeral of a 9-year-old child. Sat on the corner, straight bullet killed a child. We don't have no obligation to kill each other. I challenge you today to do that. Think about that. Then I'll heal you from heaven, heal your land. You want to heal from heaven? Want to heal from heaven? So turn our attitudes in a different direction. Our direction in a different way. But if we have the faith, God has the power to see us through. I want to say this to you, my friends. The convention is a chance for us to come together, people be from all over the country, to get a read from us. Saturday morning meeting, which you must really attend, is we changed America from Saturday morning meetings. We got a black mayor out of this situation in Detroit and LA, everybody got one. Chicago, we send a signal here. We come together on Saturday morning, and Al has a Saturday morning meeting in New York. We had one in LA when Bishop Brookins was live. See, Saturday morning meeting, we changed our culture. We bought products the black shelves, sores, Julius milk and Park House sausage. Part by staple crop, right? Use a Grove fresh orange juice. Use Mambo barbecue sauce. We got those products on the shelf for the first time. We're going to build some more stores. You know, complain about white people leaving our ghetto. Let them leave. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. We can run stores. Let them go. Now, as I close on this note here, you who are listening to us, we need your support. We have a staff that works here every day. Some of you can give $100 a day, some give $50. RememberPush.org, RememberPush.org, RememberPush.org. Go to your website right now, send a donation, and come to the convention. RememberPush.org, RememberPush.org. Send a donation today. We need your support. Keep our work going. Bishop, I want to say this to you. Bishop has come in with full force. Give Bishop Grant a big hand. When the little boy came around here, got my wife and ran off and left with her. Bishop, you all still together. Give Bishop a big hand. My friends at the convention support our efforts as we work every day. Full registration. And what it means, the Alabama case means we got one congressman. We should have 3 black congressmen from Alabama. We have 61 now, 58. We will have 70 before it's over. We reserve 7 black congressmen. We got a black senator in South Carolina, and 1 in Georgia. South, so we're gonna make gains in the South. We'll make gains in the South. We'll change our minds. Change our minds. The more powerful in the world, made up mind. Strong minds, bring strong change. Strong minds, bring strong change. Strong minds, bring strong change. We make it, if we try. If we try. I am somebody. I am somebody. Respect me, protect me, never neglect me. If my mind can conceive it, heart, believe it, I know I can achieve it. Stop the violence, save the children. Stop the violence, save the children. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Make it scream.
The one and only Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Let's make some noise. Come on, let's make some noise. Give it up for Reverend Jesse Jackson. You can go to www.rainbowpush.org, like, share, and comment. And those of you in the virtual space, we need you to go to that QR code and give right now. We need you to give right now. There's such a tremendous need for the work that we do. I want you to give a round of applause for our guests this morning, Sister Yolanda and Delphine. This fight for social justice and civil rights runs right through the heart of our country as it relates to saving more than we've lost. And their resilience today in their presentation and their passion and their purpose that they've turned into power is just unforgettable. Give it up for them one more time. You'll be able to get more information from our website about the work that they do. But this is something that you can do right now. Reverend Jackson made the appeal. $35 for adults, $15 for seniors and youth. And it is even the same amount for our registration for our 56th annual International Convention. I need those of you right now. There's an envelope on your table, and you can make a contribution right now. And I really need you to make that contribution right now, because a lot of the work that Reverend Jackson does not come with a budget. When we need resource, when we need support, when we need technical assistance. We oftentimes have to go out and just do it and get it when we get it. You make it possible with your contribution. If you want to make a $100 contribution or a $500 contribution, a $1,000 contribution, this is a great cause and the right thing to do. And so I want to encourage you here and now, take that envelope right now. If you want to do mobile giving, you can text the word PUSH to 41444, and you go to your mobile device and you can make that contribution right now. I have staff here on the floor. Once that envelope is available, would you raise your hand and they will come and get that envelope from you. As Reverend Jackson talked about having nearly 100 contractors in this room yesterday talking about wealth creation and wealth building, making sure that compliance, access to capital, and making sure that our numbers represent our potential. That's the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson, and that meeting is this coming Monday at 11 a.m. Our National Executive Director of Rainbow Push Excel is here. Reverend Jeanette Wilson, would you put your hands together for her? Push Excel is doing some amazing things with STEM and NASCAR and making technology available in ways that normally you wouldn't get it if it wasn't made available here at Rainbow Push. I'm going to ask her to come and talk about her camp, the camp that the Push Excel is going to be launching real soon. But I need you right now. Go to that envelope while she's talking, fill that envelope out. Once you have it ready, raise it, and there's staff in the back that will come and get that envelope from you. Receive Reverend Jeanette Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to talk about three things. One, all the ladies in the room want you to stand. Not single ladies, just all ladies. So we have a Women's International luncheon, roundtable and luncheon during the convention. We close the convention out. The room accommodates 600, but I want us to have several thousand around the country watching our luncheon, and I need each one of you to be on the committee for the Women's International Luncheon. The tickets for the tickets are $150 for that day. We're at the Operating Engineers Hall. We're gonna celebrate women who have broken the glass ceiling, and so you will come and see women in history that many of us didn't know or maybe have forgotten. But also that day, we're going to honor some unsung heroes, sheroes, heroines, and we're going to talk about what actions we're going to take. We still don't have pay equity. We still don't have the ability to be promoted in the same manner that men are. We're going to talk about the multicultural differences. We're going to talk about women activists and what we're going to do leaving the convention. So I need you to sign up at the back table. All we need is your name, your email, and your phone number. We'll send you the link for Friday at 11 a.m. Each of you must know 9 other women that can join you at your table. At your table, you can get somebody to sponsor your table if you don't have any money. Tables are $1,500. It's because we have the power, if you have the faith. Will y'all join me Friday? Friday, this coming Friday. Say yes? Yes. All right. This coming Friday, 11 o'clock. On Zoom. Yeah, I want to make it easy for you. And then the next week, we're going to meet in person so that Bishop and Reverend know we have 600 women strong. Y'all with me? Yeah. So get your 9 other women or however you want to do that. Now, Bishop asked me to talk about the STEM program. We're doing esports. We're teaching young men and women. We have upstairs girls from Bloom Township. They are designing, building a NASCAR virtual race car. We're going to bring it down here next week, Reverend says, so y'all can see what we're talking about. Our children are learning engineering and technology from ages 5 and up. We're preparing them for the work of today. We're going to teach them how to fly drones. We're going to teach them how to design race cars, the portable ones. We're going to teach them how to code. We're going to teach them how to make digital music where they don't curse their mothers out and their sisters. So right up there, we're going to do all of that. And then we're going to show pastors like Reverend Anderson and others how they can do that in their buildings. We'll help you put together a STEAM program for your young people. Push will be the training ground here in Chicago, and then it'll be replicated all around the country. We're telling these companies, Reverend, these automotive companies, not only do we not have a black car dealership in Chicago, we're going to start women. We're driving more cars than anybody. We want to go to a black-owned dealership to get our cars, purchase them, and fix them. So we're going to be marching about, but in the meantime, we want our young people to learn the mechanics of the automotive industry, the engineering, the marketing of the cars. We're not in any of that part. We're not even in the financing of the vehicles. So if you want to be a part of that, see me. Y'all ready? Brothers, we don't want to forget you. I believe that the young women who are designing cars will design a better car than the young men. And so we're going to have some competition. We're going to have competition with the Greek organizations. Every organization can sponsor a young person, a team of young people, 5 on a team, to be the NASCAR racers. I believe there's only one sorority in the country, and we're going to win, no matter who else is playing. Or some of you, your church groups, church missionaries, you can sponsor a team. They wear your colors and all of that. And I know I can see some women want to have their teams in here. But brothers, I need y'all to step up and support your team. This convention is going to be exciting. So on Saturday, Reverend talked about 84, 88. We're going to talk about the impact of his presidential campaigns. Everybody tells you about Obama. But he never would have been an Obama without a Jesse Jackson. And we have so many people that some of us were just working in 84. Some of us went on the Southern Crusade. Some of us were platform people. If you did anything, if you just bought and sold buttons, if you just made signs, and 84 was a big year, because without 84, there would not have been an 88. And when he ran in 84, nobody thought he could win. So if you know people, this is for Saturday, July 15th, we want the auditorium to be overflowing. We'll have the screens and everything so it look like we're really doing something, but we want people in the room. This will be the overflow room. And when this overflows, we can go downstairs and overflow some more. So we want 2,000 people here Saturday. They ought to be here to just say thank you. 57 years, unbroken work. And so you know people that were in the ministers division, in the teachers division, in the consumer clubs that Reverend's talking about. Those who walked the picket lines, like Esther and Hazel Hardaway, and so many nameless faces people. I remember one of the guys was an epileptic, and he passed out when we were marching at CBS. So we want people to stand their children, and those of you who know them, our original ushers, our original black men pushing, first black men moving, we need to be here Saturday because it is on your shoulders, on their shoulders, that this organization stands. So we want 1,000 people from churches, your organizations. We had Nancy Jefferson, remember Derek, the block clubs. So if you had a block club in 1984, get your block club people. If you got one now, if you live on a block, bring them on Saturday. We have to pack out Saturday before we get to Sunday. Y'all with me? And we're going to have breakfast that you can buy, but it ain't going to be that much. It's not $150. It's close, but it's not that much. We want you here Saturday registering for the convention. Those of you who were not born in 84, 88, you don't know nothing about that, weren't born in 1971 when this organization bought this building. You're here now. So all you got to pay is $35 to register. But Saturday we want 2,000 people because we're going to have overflow. Like all these churches talking about they overflow. We're going to overflow in here, we're going to overflow downstairs, and we can overflow outside if necessary. Y'all with me? So the overflow. then Bishop gonna tell us about gospel concert, right? I'm skipping past that because he knows about that. It's the Reverend Clay Evans Gospel Concert Sunday. Then Monday, we open up with EY and James Gomez, a whole international program. We're not local. We're not just Chicago. We're not just U.S. We are international. So you will see what our international program has grown to be over these 57 years. I remember when Mrs. Jackson used to precede Reverend Jackson into these countries like the Middle East. She and Reverend B.W. Smith went to the Middle East when people were not even trying to get in there. That's why the Women's International Luncheon is called International, one reason. So we're going to do the whole international report for you. People are coming from Nigeria, they're coming from South Africa, they're coming from Ghana, they're coming from all over the continent of Africa, those several countries. And then at lunch, we're going to really look at what are these government policies? Where are we? Are we getting our fair share? We have so many black elected officials, and the question is, are we getting our share of? Well, we're going to get our share. Then that afternoon is education. Reverend has talked about it. We're looking to challenge these states and these school districts that are banning books written by African Americans and people of color. We're going to be challenging these school board representatives to make sure that African American history is taught in every school. We're not going to allow that to just happen. DeSantis does not run America. And so that's why the women, we're going to be real focused going forward. That night, many of you say, well, can my child get a scholarship? It's too late to apply this year, but you will see some of the most outstanding young minds presented with scholarships Monday night. And you'll hear our oratorical students, who are the best speakers in the absolute world. A groomed here, it's the Orly Saunders Oratorical Society that Judge Stanley Hill took to another level, and now we have another young woman that is leading our oratorical society. So you're going to see some phenomenal young people. You'll see our STEM students both Saturday and Monday night. They're designing all kinds of stuff. And then Tuesday morning, it is business. Most of us cannot name 3 black-owned businesses in Chicago. We don't know who is manufacturing the spices we use to cook our greens. And some of us have no idea. We don't have any black car dealers in the city. We have no black banks. We went from 6 to 0. That's not acceptable. Reverend had to convene contractors and laborers. We're not even building the stuff in our community. We opened up from breadbasket to push. We built these little grocery stores. We shut them down, then we built new ones to C.F. Moore and Bush and Martin. We don't build anything. We just watch white people work and then sell us some weed. We ain't even growing the weed. And you know it grows wild. So anyway, we're going to talk about it's the business breakfast. They got the nerve, Reverend. They're trying, I'm going to invest in cannabis. They don't even know what cannabis is. We have to look at our farming. The most fertile land in the Midwest is in Pembroke, which was a black farm community. We just went down there to get them gas for the homes. So we're going to have a report on that. That's the business breakfast. And after the business breakfast, this organization is faith-based. So when Reverend says, I want 1,000 churches, we want at least 400 faith leaders from every denomination and every faith, Muslims, Christians, Jews, here, not here, but over at the Rubenstein, where we will have our faith luncheon. And we're going to talk about these foundations are not giving money to churches or faith-based organizations to do programs. It's our money. So we're going to talk about that. We're asking the church to struggle to serve the community, so we're going to have somebody talking about how do we get the money to do the programs in our faith communities for our young people. And then that night is labor, right? Labor. Some people don't know why we need labor unions. Well, if you never had a break when you're working, you'll understand. Women in particular used to have to work pregnant without bathroom breaks in the fields and in these manufacturing facilities. If you work piecework, you didn't get a lunch break, you didn't get a break. So labor unions have become important. There are no minimum wages in certain industries. We're going to talk about all of that. That'll be at the operating engineers. And then I already told you the women, right? Women. Y'all going to be with me? We're going to be several thousand strong. Some will be online because they can't get here, but the rest of you will be here. 660 tables, 600 women in the room, and if it's the overflow, we get the overflow. We have to show that we can organize. And so if we can't get to 600, I get fired. Yeah, so I need your help. Bishop?
Woke.
We're woke.
We're woke. We're woke. We're woke. We're woke. Now, the reason why the guy, DeSantis, is attacking woke is that when people are asleep, they'd be born again. Even babies in the struggle. Up in 488, they reverted now. Everybody see was in the campaign, but they really weren't in the campaign. They were asleep. Until Johnny Cochran came along, we used to laugh at Calhoun. Right? Calhoun and all that stuff. But then Johnny Cochran became a first-class lawyer, just like a person. Johnny Cochran became. So now we don't have no more Calhouns, right? Right? Kingfish, all that. We got replaced by Bill Cosby and the Huxtable family. So we come alive. Great things come our way. Come alive. We awoke. Why is he attacking this issue about no more black education in schools? Because now a generation of children growing up, so Papa was a good guy, Grandpa was a good guy. Did he support Dr. King? No. Did he march on Washington? Grandpa beating the blacks? Then now you're challenged by their children. The children are challenging them. Where were you? Oh, 62. Where were you? And see, we all quick to give our credit to white people liberating us. Lincoln did a good thing. He saved the Union and saved the byproduct. But you know, if the executive order wasn't legislation, when the war was over, there was a single black Supreme